We are at Roman numeral 8, Committee's recommendation on Overture 80 from Calvary Presbytery, proposing an Ad Interim Committee on critical race theory. The committee, by a vote of 105 to 25 to 2, recommends that Assembly answer this overture in the negative.
All right. Is there any debate, discussion? Microphone 2, for what purpose do you rise?
I'd like to speak against the committee's recommendation.
Please do.
Timothy Rice, Calvary Presbytery, ruling elder. Larger Catechism 148 says, the sins forbidden in the 10th commandment are discontentment with our own estate, envying and grieving at the good of our neighbor, together with all inordinate motions and affections to anything that is his. Mr. Moderator, viewing the world through the lens of CRT results in a discontented heart because CRT teaches its adherents that they are aggrieved, that they have been denied power, wealth, and influence, and it instructs them to obtain the same at the expense of those who may or may not share the ancestry of historical oppressors. Deuteronomy 24:16 says, fathers should not be put to death because of their children, nor children put to death because of their fathers. Each one shall be put to death for his own sins. The biblical principle is clear. An individual may be held responsible for his own actions, but not those of his ancestors. Mr. Moderator, CRT advocates punishing individuals for the sins presumed to have been committed by their forefathers in direct contradiction to the principle laid out in this verse. It also fosters discontentment with the God-ordained circumstances of one's life. Therefore, CRT is a sinful ideology that is inconsistent with the biblical worldview, and we as a church must call its adherence to biblical fidelity. CRT removes sin from the individual realm and applies it to groups and systems. Moral sanctification, being conformed to the image of God's Son in righteousness and godliness, is replaced with the goal of achieving equity in power, wealth, and influence. Let me be clear. There is no biblical mandate for this standard of equity. Consider the parable of the talents. A master gives his servants disparate levels of resources. 2 servants realize profits and get greater disparity as a result. Returning, the master said, take the talent from the one who has 1 talent and give it to the one who has 10, for to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have in abundance. CRT decries this outcome as unjust, but Jesus' response to the vineyard worker in Matthew 20:15 provides the necessary corrective. Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Finally, last year's General Assembly joined with the General Synod of the ARP to condemn without distinction any theological or political teaching which posits a superiority of race or ethnic identity born of immutable human characteristics. In doing so, the Assembly was warning those among us who are tempted by kinism, race realism, and all those similar ideologies that these beliefs are not in accord with Scripture and that they are inappropriate for those who profess to be Christians washed in the blood of Christ. We even heard this in the partial report to the Ad Interim Committee on Christian Nationalism as well. And this is a good thing, keeping and reclaiming disobedient sinners, disciplines for the purpose of godliness, our BCO says. In the same way that these brothers were pleaded with to forsake their sinful ideologies, we need to do so with those who are seeking after and who are being captured by CRT. Let's call all of our brothers to biblical faithfulness.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That is a speech against.